What's up, guys? We are back at long last. Today is day 5 of our English boot camp, and we're talking about 15 ways to say I think better. Stop saying I think. It is so boring. It is basic. You know the drill, like everything on this channel. We're taking the cliche, general phrases in English, and we're going to take 15 different ways to say it better, to sound more natural. First off, I want to say I'm sorry for the delay. It's been a while since we posted last, and even then, it was a while before we posted that beforehand as well. I've been going through a lot of personal stuff lately, and so it's been a little bit of a struggle to get content out. But thankfully, we are back at it now, and the posting should be getting more consistent. And like I said, come May, we will be back 100% no matter what. Every week, one, and hopefully, we're hoping multiple videos a week. We will be going full hardcore. Like I said, this is something we've been looking forward to for a while. This is something we've really been trying to, get in the works, and it's finally happening. Things have fallen into place, just the way they needed to. So we are back. We are back with English content, the whole 9 yards. We're here to. I'm in the middle of something.
Oh, what are you in the middle of?
I'm recording.
Oh, my bad.
Gotta say hi to Andrew.
Hi.
You showing up in vlogs, yeah?
What?
You're gonna be showing up in the vlogs, yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome. He will be on here a lot as well. We're gonna make sure of it. Alright, say bye, Andrew. Shut the door. As I was saying, we got a lot of great content coming your way. We also have a lot of... I've been talking to a bunch of my friends and connections, and we're gonna be having a lot of cool other people on these videos and vlogs as well. So you'll get a lot of other cool personalities coming on here. We'll be doing a bunch of cool stuff. Me and my friends just screwing around. We love to see it. But like I said, thank you so much for sticking around. That being said, without further ado, we're gonna hop right back into this video. So first off is I feel like. So this is kind of like a very general one. You'll hear Americans, English speakers say this a lot. I feel like. I don't know, I feel like it kind of starting to feel like that's just a literal replacement for I think, but I don't know why, but I guess it attributes more to emotions. I don't know why it is a thing that we say, but we say it and it sounds better. It just does. It comes off better, and a lot of people use it in English. So that's one phrase you can add to your arsenal. You can use it just like you would I think. So you'd be like, hey, I think you're pretty. I feel like you're pretty. Okay, in that context, you probably want to use I think, but for anything else, it's like, I think we should go get food. I feel like we should get food. I think this is the play. I feel like this is the play. It just sounds better, This is a part of a classification number 1, which is going to be just more like informal, everyday, kind of confident phrases that you say, Just ones that roll off the tongue, in everyday English. Ones that are not super formal or whatever. These are just like your kind of like everyday, just casual, confident phrases. Number 2, in my opinion. So, in my opinion is a really good one. It's, how do you put it? Pretty humble, I guess, but it's also a confident phrase. So you'd be like, in my opinion, I think that this is my favorite. I think this is the best football team, right? That would be a replacement to I think this is the best football team, which is just kind of simple and once again cliche and straightforward. In my opinion, it sounds better. Once again, another phrase people use. A lot of these aren't ones that it's like they're necessarily used for something very specific. Some of them are, but a lot of them are just different ways to say the same thing. And in English, that's a big thing people do. That way when you're talking, not everything you say sounds the same, right? It's a very, you can be more relatable, you can have variety, more novelty, because you're saying the same thing but in different phrases all the time, so you're not just being repetitive. We like that. That's cool. We love that here in English. No one likes repetitive, repetitive's not good. Repetitive is boring. We want to be exciting. We want to be interesting, non-repetitive. Number 3. What am I doing? Number 3, to be honest. To be honest is a good one. It's like super, it's used a lot, especially in text. TBH, it's like an abbreviation that people will use, text talk. They'll be like TBH and then they'll shoot their opinion. It's just another way that people say, I think, but it's a really casual, confident one. To be honest, man, I'm just really feeling like it's a really good phrase. You know, I use that one all the time, in person, over text, the whole 9 yards. It's a really good phrase to use. I would highly recommend this one. I think it comes off super casual, super confident in English, and it sounds super natural and like a native speaker would say. That's a good one to have in your arsenal. Number 4. I stand by that. Now, I don't say this one as much, but this is also a really good phrase. So, like, you would be like, instead of I think, you're going to be like, hey, the Mets are the best baseball team, right? Instead of saying that, you'd be like, I stand by that the Mets are the best baseball team. This is really good for, like, more of a strong opinion. So instead of being like, hey, you know, like, in my opinion would be a phrase that you could use when you're, like, just casually talking about an opinion of yours. Instead of saying I think, I stand by that is more of a confident, upbeat, more affirmative way to say the same phrase, right? It's it's more, like I said, it's more affirmative. So instead of being like, just in my opinion, I stand by that. It's saying, it's a very confident way to say, I stand by the Mets are the best baseball team. I am not yielding on this. I stand by that. So that's a really good way to confidently say that. Like I said, it's a lot better than I think, and it helps convey your meaning more so than if you were to just use I think, I'm going to pause and just make a note that I didn't get the footage of it, but my phone did drop again, obviously, because it would not be a Jaden in the USA video if I didn't have phone problems. This time I did not cuss profusely though, so look at that, I'm making progress. Anyways, the way I see it, that's another good one. It's casual, simple. The way I see it, it rolls off the tongue, it just does, right? I don't really think there needs to be anything said for that, right? Instead of I think, the way I see it, it rolls off the tongue, it's pretty nice. I suspect that. This one it's still confident, but it's a little bit less, I guess, finalizing. It's a little bit less firm. So, I would say that this one, it's still like a confident way to say it, a casual way to say it, but it's a little bit more casual, a little bit more just simple. I suspect that. Instead of I think, I suspect that. Then we got my take is, number 7, my take is, I don't really use this one, I haven't seen this used a lot, but it is one you can use, and it's not like it's a bad thing. It's just not one that's been in my word arsenal a lot. And then we got from what I can tell. From what I can tell is, I would say that's more like I feel like or I suspect that. It's more in the league of one of those where it's still kind of the same thing, but you wouldn't really use that with my favorite sports team, for be honest. I think the best team is the Mets. You're not gonna say from what I can tell. That's just not the same. Maybe if you were talking about some abstract political opinion and you didn't have all the facts, but from what you had seen so far, you'd be like, from what I can tell, here's my opinion. You're talking about a drama or some gossip, and you don't know all the facts, but you formed a hypothesis. From what I can tell, this is what happened, if that makes sense. That's kind of the context you'd use that in. Still better than I think. And then we got number 9, which is, I'd say, this is super simple. This is super straightforward. Not much explanation. It's the same thing as I think, but I'd say it just sounds better, right? A little bit more variety. Now we're going to get into our next 3. And these 3 are in the polite category. So the reason they're polite, I said polite, I'd say they're more humble, is what I'd say. So number 1 in that category, but number 10 overall is going to be, I could be wrong, but. So this one is taking some of the blame on yourself. It's acknowledging you could have a fault, even if you're dead set on this. It's very polite, very good way, like I said, of taking liability off of yourself. Number 2 in that category, so number 11 is going to be, I can't help but think. Once again, this is a super polite, super humble way of saying it, of coming from it. You're not being super adamant. You're just being once again, a little bit unsure. I can't help but think, I guess it's more of a instead of a resolute, I think it's I can't help but think, maybe I don't want to, but I gotta be honest with you, this is really what it seems like. I really can't control that I have to think this way. That's kind of how that comes across. It's a polite way of saying it, though. And then we got, it seems likely that. So this is simple, polite, humble. It seems likely that you're not really taking a harsh stance on it. you're just, you're saying an opinion based on like kind of what you're seeing. It seems likely that this is kind of how it's seeming, right? It's another great way to say it, better than I think. That's it for the polite category. The last three I want to talk about are formal ones. So I have not used like almost any of these. I don't use these a lot. I really don't. And I've not met a lot of people that do, but I'm going to talk about them because they are like a formal way to say things. You're probably not going to use these, maybe like ever, but we're going to go over them anyways because then maybe at some point if you really want to say something in a formal way, you could use them. I don't know if other people in certain formal contexts use them commonly, but they are phrases you can use and they are more formal. So number one in that category, is going to be I contend that. So I contend that it's the same thing. It's just like I think, but it's a different way. It's basically like my argument is this. This is kind of my opinion in the matter. Like I said, formal, not really use it a lot, but two, the evidence suggests. I've used this one before. This is more formal, but it's also one that I've used that you can use in other settings. It's common. I used this before. The evidence suggests being like, so like if you're talking to your friends and for example, they're talking about, I don't know, a piece of gossip. I don't know, drama, whatever, and you hear the facts and you're like, the evidence suggests that maybe she cheated on him. I'm just saying, like, from what I'm hearing, that's kind of how it sounds. But once again, this might be something you use more in a formal setting, but I'd still use this in a casual setting, so something you can use. And then the last one is I submit that. I have never heard this used ever before, but I figured I'd go over it for, the hell of it. I submit that is just... It's the same as I contend that. It's just another way to say it. I've never really heard this used. Maybe it's used in, this was labeled as formal. Maybe it's used in, I could see it maybe being used in like higher level corporate settings. Maybe olden, probably more of an old thing that people used to say. But hey, it's there. I went over it just because, for the heck of it. So that's the last one that we have. But once again, no matter what, right? We just went over 15 other ways. There are plenty more that I'm probably going to talk about in a different video that you can say, I think, better. So, it's never something you should almost ever have to use. You can, but on occasions. But look, I'm going to encourage you as you learn English to pick up a lot of these phrases, right? There's just so many better, more colorful ways to say things in English. There's no one way to do things, and it's really cool. I really encourage you guys to put these in your arsenal. So that is day number 5. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for coming on the channel, even after the long pause we had. And thank you for coming and supporting our content. Like I said, we could not do this without you guys. You guys are awesome. You guys are the G's. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And, tell us your thoughts in the comments. Let us know any questions you have, any videos you want to see, what kind of vlogs you kind of were interested in, anything. Anything for me, you got me. Questions, comments, concerns, quips, anything. I'd love to see it. I'll be on there probably a lot in the next few days and the following weeks to reply to comments, talk to you guys. I love interacting with you guys. Like I said, we just love you. We just love you. So thank you so much for coming and seeing this video, and 100% will see you in the next one. Peace.